There we go. Let me come back. We're going to start standing today. So we last week, a week ago, we started to do some work on the dancer. And I realized, I don't know how, I didn't hear from a lot of folks after the class, so I'm not sure how people were feeling afterwards. It's a strength posture. It's a hard posture to do. And all of those things combined, I was like, okay, we worked really hard on it. Let's pull it into a little bit more of a flow. One of the reasons why I think, from what I could see in your little square boxes, one of the reasons why I think we were so successful in that really challenging posture was because we kind of made our way to it in an appropriate sequence of events. So just like taking our learning off the mat, in anything we do, if we jump into it without that preparation, it's going to be that much harder and we might have a little bit less confidence or success. So we're going to go through some of that stuff as well today. And again, one of the reasons why I love the dancer, even though it's super hard, I love it because it's just that beautiful embodiment of what happens when you combine strength and balance, which goodness knows I certainly need. So let's start this morning. Feet are going to be under our hips-ish. So remembering that when I say that, I'm meaning here, not here. Spread your toes nice and wide. Bring your shoulders up, back, and down. Nice and tall. Tuck the hips under. And we're going to kind of ease our way into the mountain. So start maybe with awareness in the feet, really grounding them, lifting up through your arches, and then stretching kind of up through the legs. When I'm standing, my knees are always a little bit bent, tight hamstrings. So I'm just going to straighten here. Tuck the tail under, or tuck under here, holding up and back through those deep core muscles. And then shoulders once up are going to drop down. Relax your arms, palms forward, nice and long neck. While everything is engaged in the body, soften through the face. Let your eyes close and go within yourself. A little bit of time to explore. And as you explore, don't look for the crap. As I say, more so as a reminder to myself, look for the possibilities. Look for the empty spaces that can be filled with amazing things. Look for the stories that you have been the hero of. And look for the tightness and the discomfort that may come because we are deeply emotional and empathetic creatures. Continue to deepen the breath, holding mountain, getting taller. And then draw your attention to the area around the crown chakra, top of the head, and imagine that you're opening this portal, pulling energy up through the feet, let it flow through you, shooting out through your head, creating rainbows or showers of light. And if you are not yet ready to create those rainbows or showers of light, that's okay too. Push something out, little wee bubble of hope. Let's open up the eyes, taking in a deep breath. Let's sweep the arms up slowly, mindfully connecting the palms over top of the head, continuing to lengthen up. while pushing the feet and legs down. Now you can't see my hands at this point, but I'm going to just keep my palms pressed together. I kind of wrap around with my thumbs, and then I'm slowly gonna lean to one side, taking my time. I'm just holding here, breathing, allowing everything to open. Let's come back to center. And then moving to the other side. So same thing, very slow, mindful. Coming all the way up. And then to release, shoulders come back and down. And just release and soften through the body. Good. I want to just wake up the feet for a moment. So I'm going to press onto the top of a foot, a little bit of a bend through the knees. And do this as much as you are comfortable with. Moving to the other side. This to me is such a glorious stretch, kind of up the front of the ankle. Maybe onto the side a bit. Hello, Ted. Good. And then we're going to do a combination of a twist and monkey. So for monkey, and this should be fun and joyful, and it's nicer kind of to do this at home and not in a room full of people because it can feel weird, but whatever. So we're going to slide down on one side. Keep your core tight. And if your low back is problematic, you want to really just limit the range of motion here. But we want to be extending down with one arm while the other hand comes up. So literally think of a monkey. And then we're going to switch to the other side. Now, as I do this, my kind of natural inclination is to roll forward. Part of it is because I'm looking down to a camera, but don't kind of stay upright. So start slow. Think about how the breath is flowing. You kind of end up being like a bagpipe, pushing the wind out of your lungs. Can confirm there is no yoga pose called bagpipe. I'm probably thankful for that. If this is feeling okay, you could increase your speed. And then relax. Good. We're going to add a little bit of an alternate move here. So my feet were out to the sides a little bit. I'm going to straighten them. I'm going to stretch up. Big breath in. As I exhale. Hello, Jeff. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Blow out that air. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. And out. Couple more. And out. Good. Rolling up. Beautiful. Let's add another piece to this. Keeping the hips and kind of the pelvis in place. Think about movement from the waist up. Start to just twist. Let your arms be completely free. Obviously, be mindful of walls, furniture, valuables in your homes. Let those arms fly around. With comfort, you can increase the speed. Slow it down. Roll your shoulders back. Good. Take a moment and think about how you feel. Hopefully things are not screaming at you. If they are, Come back into mountain and breathe. And then we'll be moving to something a little bit more structured in a moment. Otherwise, if you're feeling okay, let's do another round. So starting with monkey, starting slow. Maybe trying to get those elbows up higher this time. And increasing speed as you feel more comfortable. And release. Good. Back to sweeping up. Inhale. Exhale down. Really bend the knees here. Inhale up. And down. Inhale. And down. And keep going with this. And rolling up mindfully. Shoulders come back into a better place. And then slowly going back into that twist. So I just caught myself doing more of like a full body thing. I'm going to try and keep my hips steady. And then slowing it down. Rolling the shoulders. Good. Good work. Let's take a moment to do a quick head, neck, shoulder roll. Head rolls from one shoulder to the other in front. Back to the other side. And then roll the shoulders back. Fabulous. Okay. So a few weeks ago, we did some nerve flossing. I want to go through that again very briefly now again, simply because for some of what we're doing, we really need our hands and our wrists to be functioning well. So start like a waiter. This is not even close to how a waiter would hold any kind of tray. This should be called something else, maybe like waving at friends. Anyway, tip your hand back so your palm is up, and then you want to push out to the side. So it looks like I'm pushing against a wall, but I'm not. So coming back up and push out. Really feel this stretch here. Coming up, pushing out. Do a couple more of these. It should feel like a lot of stuff is pulling. And I say pull as opposed to stretch because I think it's a pull. Let's add the head. So tip your head in the direction of the hand and then coming back. We'll do another one and back and one more. And releasing. Good. Other side. Whatever this is. And pushing out. So noticing the difference here, I don't know where to put my hand because I'm looking at a camera. So coming back and forth here, really feeling what's happening, noticing again, difference between left and right. I'm still going with this. I'm going to do one more here, really big stretch, and then I'm going to add the head. So the head goes. And good. Nice. And releasing. Good. So the one that I could not demonstrate well before, because I think we were seated, is just simply this. Taking the hands relaxed, palms back. I don't know if you can see that. We can do them both at the same time. So relax the hands, scoop back. Relax the hands, scoop back. Notice where you feel this. Relax the hands, scoop back. Let's do 2 more of these. That's 1, relaxing, and 2. Good. Shaky shake. Now the raccoon eyes. This is one that's tough for the brain as well as often the body, although I remember doing this as a kid and it was so easy. Anyway, we're gonna create a mudra and then we flip up so that those, well, I don't know if you can see that very well. I'll do it like this. So we're like this, and then we're doing this. Don't worry if your eyes are closed, mine are. And we want to really get those elbows back, feel that stretch, and then releasing down. So let's do 3 of those. So create your mudra. Releasing. I totally wasn't breathing. It's the only time I shut up. Let's release. We'll do the last one here. And then a nice big stretch, a little shake. Good, fabulous work. Amazing. Okay, all of that is great for warming the body, getting arms and wrists and everything ready. Feet are ready. So the other thing that we really need for the dancer is that range of motion through the hips. So we got to open the hip flexors a little bit. Let's do this by, oh my gosh. I was not kidding when I said my dogs tracked mud everywhere. There's like mud all over my mat. Yay. Let's come down to the hands and knees. So making sure your core is nice and engaged here, providing some safety and support. Let's do a little bit of cat-cow. So inhale, head lifts, tail lifts. Exhale, rounding the back. This is when I start to feel the tightness in my low back. So I'm just holding here a tiny bit longer because it feels good. Inhale, head and tail lift. Exhale, rounding. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, rounding, really enjoying this. And then releasing to a tabletop. And I say really enjoying this in case you're not. That's your reminder. Okay, let's bring a leg forward. So I'm going to bring my right foot forward. Knee is in the armpit. And let's do a little bit of work on thread, then needle. So to do that, let's be mindful about this. I'm going to bring my foot a little bit further out. So my right foot is forward, my left hand is forward, and I'm going to bring my right arm up into the air. Nice big reach here. We're going to take this really slowly to begin. And then I want you to take that arm that's in the air and slowly start to thread it under the other arm. So the right arm is coming under the left. So this is a little bit of a modification on thread the needle. I want you to just kind of sink into this a little bit. Drop your head. Hold and breathe. If you can reach that hand through and hold your shoulder, that would be beautiful. Hold for about 3 more breaths here. And then release, bringing that arm right back up into the air, twisting back. And then releasing. Let's move to the other side. So left, I needed to haul that leg up. Oh my word. Okay. And needing to haul that leg up says to me that my hip flexors are really tight. So left foot is forward, right hand is forward. I'm going to take my left arm up into the air, reaching back. Few deep breaths here. And then sliding under here. So I'm just going to ease through, and then if I can, gently holding on to my shoulder. Lots of deep breaths as we get into some tense areas. Couple more breaths. Good. Releasing, leg comes back. Okay. Flip your toes, walk your way back, coming into as much of, not like a, sorry, I was like, something was touching my ankle and I thought it was a dog and it's not, it's a spider. Ugh, not fun. All right, my little toes are uncurled. I'm sitting back, opening the feet up here, this nice stretch. Again, I say nice to reinforce the fact that it probably doesn't feel nice. Couple of breaths. Good. And then just moving back forward onto your hands and curl those toes. So now we're going to go into a traditional form of a thread the needle. To do that, I'm going to keep the right hand on the mat. I'm going to lift up that left arm, coming back as far as I can, which is not very far. And then that left arm is going to slide right under. In this iteration, you might be able to come right down onto the mat. Butt is in the air, shoulders on the floor. Deep breaths. Good. Tight through the core. We're going to lift it back up. Left arm comes back up into the sky. And then sweeping back and down. And last time, left arm is going to lift up, opening through the chest. And then sweeping down. Now, if you are comfortable here leaning on a shoulder, you could release that right arm and bring it up into the air. Make sure you're still breathing deeply. And then releasing, untangling, coming out of this. Before we do the other side, toe knuckles together, pushing back, not a toe stretch this time. We're going to do a child's pose, sinking down, maybe forehead to the floor. And then lifting back up. Alrighty, so we are switching sides this time. So left arm is, and left hand are connected to the floor. Right arm comes up. Opening up here. I'm noticing immediately the difference between left and right side. Not good for me. So I get to work on that this week. And then we're going to thread the needle coming down. Right through the core so you can float back up, opening here. And thread the needle. And this is number 3. We come all the way up, lean back, see if you can get some more range of motion happening. And then thread the needle. So this is where, if you can settle comfortably onto that right shoulder, left arm can come up into the air. Couple more breaths. And bring that arm down, coming up. And we're going to move to hands and knees. Let us flip the toes under. Hands are shoulder width apart. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, up and back, first down dog. Spend a few moments here, bending one knee, then the other, maybe a little twisty twist. Walk your hands back, rolling up. Beautiful stretch. Hands to the heart. Nice. Fabulous work. Okay, let's do a little bit on our hip flexors to get them open. Everything else seems to be opening as much as it's willing to be open at this point. So I'm going to step my left foot on an angle, right foot steps forward, and I'm going to come into a deep lunge here. My hands are going to stay on my hips. Play around with the alignment of the hips if you want. So that back leg, I'm going to move that hip forward. Front leg, hip moves back. Now I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to slowly and mindfully come forward, straightening that back foot as I go. So I'm on that back toe base. So as you're holding this posture, really think about the core being able to help you. So tighten through those core muscles. Your legs are working hard. Arms should really be kind of not doing a lot, maybe just helping with balance. And then this is where you might want to have a blanket handy, just kind of tossing it down behind you here. So I'm going to slowly lower that back knee down. Uncurl the toes. And I'm going to ease myself forward into this. This is intense as heck. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. You need a deep, steady breath here. Think of this almost as a yin approach. Going even further in here, dropping my hips even more. And then I'm going to ease out of this. So let me bring my hands to the left side. My right foot's going to step around and behind. And we'll do that again. So popping up and back, 2 down dog. Take a moment, shake out your head if there's tension in your shoulders that has transferred there as it left your hips, shake it out. And then walk the hands back, rolling up. Reach up to the sky and grab some energy on your way back down. Throw that into heart center. Good. You need to move your little blanket out of the way, not a bad idea. Shoulders are back. I'm going to take my right foot out on an angle this time. Left foot steps forward, way forward. Sinking down to begin into a nice, this is really a warrior one stance, isn't it? But I'm keeping my hands down, chest is open. Work on those hips. It's so funny how the body works. I'm realizing that my right hip flexor is a real mess today, not participating well. And my left arm is a real mess. So that's fun. All righty. If this is feeling comfortable, slowly start to bring the hands down towards the floor. I'm going to straighten the back foot. I'm going to lift up onto that toe base. Some deep breaths here. This is where strength is really a component. The legs should be talking back a little bit here. Maybe 2 more breaths. And then I'm going to slowly start to lower that right knee down to the mat, uncurling the toe. I didn't really bring that blanket far enough back. Fixed, problem solved, good. And then I'm going to let my hips come forward in this posture, uncurling that back toe or foot or whatever it is it's uncurling. As you sink deeper into this, make sure that breath is deep. There's so much going on. Chest stays lifted. Maybe bring the head up a little bit and pull the shoulders away from the ears. Two more breaths. How about that? And then we are going to release this sweet pose. Move your little blanket if you need to. Let's sink into a child's pose and let all of those endorphins flow through us. So sinking down. Up to your hands and knees, flip those toes up and back to down dog. Let's do 3 breaths here. Again, shake out your head, release tension that might have transferred from the hips to the shoulders. And then walk your hands back, roll it up. Grab energy and send it to the heart. Oh, good. So it's funny when I get into some of these postures and I'm having a nice release happening, I think of like 14 other postures we should be doing. So I've got some other ideas to release our hips in other weeks. So let's do a little bit of a flow. And in this, what we're really going to be focusing on is going from a warrior one right into the dancer. And then we'll see how the strength and balance goes, and we might transition to something else out of that. So I'm going to start this way. But I am first gonna fix my pants, which are rolling down. All right. You're welcome. I'm sure you wanted to know that detail, but I'm just sharing it. Okay, shoulders back. Let's start in mountain here. Let's have some deep, soothing, restorative breaths. And then bring the hands up to the heart. Just connect them, rest the thumbs on the chest here. Keep breathing deeply. And let's do this. So I'm going to start with my left foot out on a slight angle. Right foot's going to step forward. Straight legs to begin. Even out your hips. Left comes forward, right comes back, gripping the mat with the toes, sinking in to that first lunge. Take a moment and think about what's happening in your back foot. Are you even in it? Is it kind of collapsing in? Keep it active too, please. And we're going to sweep our arms up into the air, opening up through the chest. I've got big jazz hands here. Take a couple of breaths in Warrior One. Join me in transitioning to Humble Warrior for an additional stretch of the calf muscles. So I'm going to shoot my arms behind, lean forward, maybe to about 45 degrees here. Big breaths. And then sweep back up. Here we go. We're back in Warrior One. Okay. In order to turn this into the dancer, I need, I need to figure out left and right. I'm going to bring my right arm forward as my left arm starts to come back. Find your way up onto that right leg while finding the left foot with the left hand. Let's start with a very tight version of this posture. Pressing down through the knee, holding the heel fairly close to the bum. 3 breaths here. And then I'm going to release my left foot, bring that knee forward. See if you can scoop it up. Shoulders roll down. 2 or 3 breaths here, please. Release the foot. Sweep up those hands. Exhale, swan dive forward. Touch the floor. Rise to a flat back, shoulders move away from the ears, tuck the tail here. Exhale, hands come down. Step into downward facing dog. And your hands walk back to the feet, roll, roll, roll all the way up. Big sweep here, make it dramatic. Because why not? Hands to the heart. We're going to work on the other side. So this time my right foot steps out on an angle. Left foot forward, start with straight legs. Even out your hips. So I was saying earlier that my right hip flexors are really tight. So what I'm already feeling in this posture is my heel wants to lift up because everything's starting to pull forward because of that tightness. So if you are like me, focus on that, push back and down, fight the power. I'm going to sink into my lunge here. That's really, which is really going to wake up the tightness. Sweep the arms up. Warrior One arms, really own it. Open up through the chest. Transition to a humble warrior. Strong arms pulling away from the ears. Tight through the core. We're going to return to our warrior one. Arms are up in the air. And then front arm starts to come down. We move an arm behind as we lift up. I'm going to pull in nice and tight here. So a very tight dancer. Taking a moment to ensure that the shoulder's in a good position here. Knees down, not up to the side. And then releasing that, let that leg float forward, pull it up. Drop it down. Let's sweep up, please. Exhale, swan dive down. Touch the floor and then up to a flat back. Exhale down. Step into downward dog. Let's walk the hands back, rolling up, nice and big, tall, dramatic, sweeping, pull the energy to the heart. I'm going to face forward this time because I want to do a big dancer this time, and I don't have space if I'm this way. Taking up a lot of space with my dancer today. All right, catch your breath. We're going to do this again. So left foot's out on an angle, right foot steps forward, starting with straight legs, adjusting your hips, sinking in, adjust shoulders, mindful of that back leg and foot, sweeping the arms up, rolling those shoulders in, nice and strong in warrior one. Let's shift this into a humble warrior. Maybe this front hip's pulling back even more in the posture. Shoulders are pulling away from the ears. Core stays tight. Come back up to warrior one. And now opening up, and I'm going to leave my front arm forward and extend it as I work to find my back foot. And moving into dancer. Three breaths. As you release, bring that leg up and forward. Clearly, I planned this to cut my head off. And releasing down. Let's sweep up. Exhale, swan dive. Touch the floor. Halfway lift. Touch the floor. Step back to down dog. We've got mats going the wrong way on rugs. Oh my gosh. I'm going to walk back before I face plant. And I'm going to roll up. Hands to the heart. I'm going to do the other side. Oh gosh. Right foot's out on an angle. Left foot steps forward. Making sure I'm officially at that point now where I'm getting all the endorphins and I'm just a giggly mess, which I'm so grateful for today. Let me tell you. Okay, so I'm going to start to move into my lunge. Warrior One arms in place. I know at this point we're all tired, which is part of the giggles setting in. So just be mindful about positioning. Don't skip steps because you're tired. Humble warrior. Really active arms here, pulling away from those ears. Nice deep breath. And then coming back up to warrior one. Good. Let's do this. Starting to ease into beautiful dancer. Lots of breathing. And then releasing slowly, mindfully. Seeing if you can get that knee up. Releasing the foot down. Sweeping up. All the way up. Lean back here. Enjoy it. And then swan dive. Forward. Touch the floor. Lift halfway. Shoulders back. Tuck the tail. Drop forward. And then slowly sweeping all the way up. Connect the hands and bring them to the heart. Just as we did before, just rest your hands on the chest. Close your eyes, press those palms together. Feel your heart beating. Let the breath settle. And then release and relax. Good. Let's come down to the mat. So I'm just gonna sink on down. I'm gonna come right into a prayer pose. So if you need a block or something under the heels, I'm really comfortable with flat feet here. And then I'm going to just release down onto the bum. Good. So join me in creating a figure four. We're just going to get into some deep stretching now as we start to work towards that final moment of the class. So if you need something under the knee, don't be afraid to slide something under. It's important that you find balance for your physical self in whatever posture we're in, even if that means using props to assist. That's why we use props. Prop us up. So take a moment to get your shoulders to release down the back. And then we're going to bring an arm to rest on the extended leg. I'm going to bring my other arm up into the air, really reaching nicely here. So I'm lifting up out of the hip. And then I'm going to start to twist, so my gaze is going away from me, kind of almost more towards the bent leg. Then I'm going to slide over, maybe knee comes to elbow or elbow to knee. And in this posture, try not fold forward. If it means that you have to slide back to keep the chest open, go for it. I hope these instructions make sense. Oh. From here, I invite you to start to move your torso towards the extended leg and just gently sinking down. We're going to take our time. Pulling up and back. One more piece to this now. I'm going to take that extended leg, pulling it behind. So I've got a 90, well, a close tucked in 90-90. So this is actually a posture that we call the stag more so than a 90-90 because my back foot is tucked behind and my front leg is comfortably in the same position that it was previously. You could remove the prop if you want, play it by ear. From here, I'm going to lift up. I'm going to rotate towards that front bent knee. And then I'm going to sink down, maybe to the forearms. If that's not comfortable, you can stay up on fingertips and just kind of negotiate your way through this. But just soften into this pose. I'm going to walk my way back up. And then I'm going to switch sides. So one leg extended, one leg bent. Again, don't hesitate. Add a little prop here. And let's start going through that sequence on the other side. So extending the arm up. And I'm just going to open up my gaze. So I'm actually starting to turn towards that bent leg. And then gently sinking down, maybe elbow comes to knee, as long as you can stay twisted and lifted. And lots of nice deep breaths. And then starting to move towards the extended leg. Find your comfort here. Pulling up. Roll your shoulders. We're going to take that extended leg, tucking it behind. Maybe your prop leaves you, maybe it doesn't. Whew. This is just found some new tightness. Good news. That's why we do this. I'm sure that there are yoga instructors and facilitators throughout the world who don't use the class to report on everything that they find like, wow, that hip. But thank you for your patience as I just potentially overshare. Ah. All right, let's start to come on down towards the floor or whatever point you want to move to. let's crawl back up. Good. From here, ease into whatever position works for you for the Shavasana. If you want to be straight on your back, do that. If you want to do knees to tummy, do that. Bent knees, feet on the floor, do that. Whatever works, move into that space and that posture now. And I recognize that we are short on time. If you need to bail, do that, no worries. If not, I beg you, maybe 3 more minutes. Just settle in, find that space of peace. And let your mind quiet as your body makes sense of what we've just worked through. Deepen your breath and enjoy a huge stretch, fingers to toes. So stretch the arms up over top of your head, stretch out your legs. Pull your knees into your tummy. Give yourself a hug and hold this for a few breaths. Hug yourself in recognition of the really tough physical practice that we did today. Not easy. And then when you're ready, moving up to a seated posture. And take a moment as you're breathing here to have that time for a little bit of, I did it. Because today was not easy. The folks showed up and they worked hard, and I appreciate it. Do a quick check. Make sure that your shoulders are not jammed up in your ears. Make sure that your breath is deep. Smile if you can, and let's bring the hands together in front of the heart. From the heart, let's bring the hands up over top of the head. Think about at the start of the class today, we thought about opening up that crown chakra. And as you are in this position, slowly open up the hands, creating a little bit of almost this fabulous kind of megaphone shape. And think about the beautiful energy that you now have that you can share with the world. Like it or not, they're getting it. And then drop your arms, hands back to the heart. This is where we close the practice. Thank you so much again today, especially for me. It's so wonderful having so many people share this practice with me. I am grateful. Namaste. And 2 weeks till we get together for a live class.